Alright, so just one question I've probably been asked the most about Gotham Knights. It's what the DLC should be and what the DLC might even be. Like, I genuinely think that this is a question that a lot of people really want the answer to. And it's kind of like interesting that they haven't given us like a roadmap, kind of similar to what like Anthem has had, or like what the Avengers had, where they're actually saying like what characters are going to be releasing when, like with Spider-Man, of course, and Black Panther and stuff like that. So I'm very curious as to why they're not doing that. And I think there are a few reasons why. And one of them is being they're holding out until they actually see how successful or how unsuccessful this game actually is. I feel like if this game does relatively okay, right? If it doesn't the okay margin, doing post-launch content for it is such a good idea. I mean, that would be obviously the next step to go. That is obviously the logical thing to do. If the game doesn't do good, then I think the resources would be better off going towards their second game, which they've always been talking about. They've always talked about it, and they even have job listings up for their second game. So that is still going on in the background, and I feel like if they don't think that this game is, of course, marketable enough for post-launch content, I can easily see them skipping out on that whole process. If this game is big enough to just support that replayability where you get to play as each night and it's kind of like a little bit of a different story because the dialogue's different, then I could see them easily skipping out on that post-launch content. But I also think it would probably be a very good idea to do that because Batman, of course, has such a wide variety of side characters that you can pick from. From Batwoman, you can do Damian Wayne if he's somehow in the game and you want to make him a playable character. You have Sandra Kane, you have like Harley Quinn if you want to make her playable. Make her one of the side characters and make her maybe something to do with Joker. I don't know. Have Joker come back in a DLC and that would be something that gains you numbers. Have Batman come back in a DLC. If you have Batman be a playable character in this game, let's just say they're like, okay, we're going to keep Batman dead throughout the entirety of the game, but the DLC, the very first DLC is Batman Returns as a fucking DLC. That's going to do so massive numbers. And that could be what they're honestly planning all along. I wouldn't even be mad about that. I think a lot of people would actually be genuinely excited to see a Batman DLC. And that is something that is so smart to do too, because the whole marketing of Batman's dead in this game, but then also having that DLC that's technically not a part of the main game. It's still a part of the game, but it's not a part of like the main story. And it's just like kind of like that in-canon explanation for why Batman might be in a sequel if they make a sequel, if this game's good enough. I get that. I think it's a good idea. And I genuinely kind of hope that they do that if Batman's not alive in this game. If he is somehow actually genuinely dead, we see a legit body and we bury Bruce Wayne himself and he's not revived by any organization within this game, I can see a Batman DLC. I think that would be the most logical thing to do. And I think that even with the gameplay they have now, they can build a very, very awesome Batman. Like, I think that would be one of the coolest things that they can add to this game is Batman. And that would be one of the most attention-grabbing things that they can do. The next thing would be, of course, just adding multiple villains with side characters as those type of, connections. That would be kind of fun. Of course, having like Batwoman and then adding in some new villain like the fucking Mad Hatter or some shit and having Batwoman team up with the Gotham Knights to go and take down Mad Hatter. That'd be cool. And also, the people that are playing the co-op missions, they're not going to be limited to only having one character be playable. So they can both play as like Batwoman or whatever DLC character gets added and go and play that story. That'll be actually pretty interesting and pretty fun. I think that there are a lot of things that they can do with certain villains already because they've already shown what they can do with the character arcs and whatnot. That's what they're trying to like kind of market the villains around in many ways. They're showing the villains off as a way that actually shows them as like stories, and it's not just like a 5-minute side mission like Hush in Batman Arkham Knight where you just walk into a building and throw Hush through a table off after doing one counter button. Like, they're actually flushing out a lot of these villains, a lot of these characters in this world, and I think that that's actually very interesting, and that sets up their DLC in a very good way because now they actually have ways to expand that DLC and make it longer and make it worthwhile. I think that that's something that a lot of people were very against in Arkham Knight as well, the DLC just being so short. And I would like to actually preface saying that WB Montreal made the Batgirl DLC, which is the longest DLC, and it's actually one of the most interesting DLCs within Batman Arkham Knight, besides, of course, the Season of Infinity. But besides that, I think that the villain DLCs that they can do would be very interesting, like having, of course, if Mad Hatter isn't in the game, have Mad Hatter. Have maybe Joker return in some way, shape, or form if he isn't in the game, and he is alive out there just causing mayhem in a different city or something. Have him come back and control Harley again, and have that be like a side mission. Just have multiple ways of interacting with these villains, and of course having that arc out. Maybe you have to finish up in some DLCs, you have to clean up the Court of Almas and still finish up, cleaning up some of the towns that are left around. Or maybe you have to go around actually cleaning up Clayface's mess. Maybe he left like fucking multiple scattered clay monsters around Gotham. I don't know. Like there are so many things that they can do here with the DLC and the post-launch content. And I hope that they actually flesh it out. And the fact that they haven't given us a roadmap, it's kind of worrisome, but at the same time, I actually appreciate them kind of keeping that in wraps, keeping it to themselves. And honestly, I will be okay with them not really showing it, because again, what Arkham Knight did was very, very bad in my opinion. They gave us like a season pass. I don't think they're doing a season pass for Gotham Knights, if I'm not mistaken. There's no like season pass that gives you these things later on. You're most likely going to have to buy them individually, which is nice. It gives you the option instead of having to buy like this $50 pack that might give you good content or might not give you any content at all. So, we'll see what happens in the end of the road. I'm very interested to see what they do for the DLC, if it ever happens. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future. And I will see you guys in my next one. Peace out.